Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your little break here. I didn't even have time to go to the bathroom, so let's just go straight into it, right? It's a pleasure to have actually a customer here. But before we do that, Phil, you are working for Kornit and you're working with Stuart. How did that relationship get started?
Don't ask. No, I'm joking. We have a partner that also represents Kornit in the UK, Amaya Sales, and they introduced us to YPP. Also, YPP had your print partner, and Stuart are also using our KornitX software platform. So we kind of had a relationship, but not print on demand. So yeah. Many customers, the customers you just seen, and transitioning from screen print to digital. Stuart's businesses in particular, I think interesting for the audience because Stuart's a non-traditional DTG, direct-to-garment or apparel printer. For me, making that transition from large format commercial print into DTG, and I thought his story is a fantastic story to tell.
So let's dig into that, Stuart. Before we're going to talk about the relationship seen from your side to Kornit, right? Give us a little background on your company and how it got started and where you were before you started working with Kornit.
Yeah, so I started the company 12 years ago from my kitchen table. We started as a print broker, really, buying in products from different printers and then just adding our margin and selling. And it came noted really quickly that fabric printing, as in large format flags, soft signage, was actually a growth area. But no one really did it in the UK. That it was all being produced overseas, 7 to 10 day turnaround, shipped from places like Poland. And that's where my vision kind of caught my attention, that why weren't we doing it in the UK? My mission has always been bring back UK manufacturing. So very quickly, I bought my first printer, textile printer. It was an Oakley TX400 to be precise. Going back quite a while now.
I like those details. I love them.
Yeah, I'm more of that detail person. And we started printing textiles, and the first thing we did was, why do we have to wait 7 to 10 days for it? Let's go straight to the market with a 3-day turnaround. So we launched flags on 3-day turnaround.
And did you, sorry to interrupt you, but did you realize that that was actually a huge KPI for customers?
Yeah, huge, because everyone who wanted last minute sponsors and stuff for sports events, my background being live events, found out really quickly that if they're not got 7 days, they're probably not going to get it for their event. So we launched the flags really quickly. We actually supply mainly the trade. So a lot of signage firms and other print companies actually buy from us, but they don't do textile. They do PVC, they do Corex, they do paper printing, more commercial print. And that really helped us grow very quickly through a lot of challenges for me, because obviously when you're printing row-to-row textiles, it's not the correct colour when it comes out the printer. It has to go through ovens. You've got to have sewing staff, which opens up headaches because the UK don't have sewing capacity really. So we started with that. Fast forward, we've now got 13 printers that print onto row-to-row textiles.
Fantastic.
We've also added some UV machines in. We've added a flatbed. And then about 3 years ago, we launched print on demand. And it's a market that I'm kind of interested in more, because I really like the idea of being able to produce one-off items. But a one-off item is expensive. If you've got to process a manual process of an order and everything, that is very expensive. So we had to automate our systems and bring in technology. We worked with some with KornitX through the Next platform and things like that. So we're bringing in orders, and it all had to be automated to get the scale of the costing and the money that we wanted to make on items. But we also wanted the user experience. We didn't want a user to come on, have a really bad experience and then go, I can't order a cushion, this is just a nightmare, I'm out, sort of thing. So we've worked on that. And then it was probably about 3 years ago, just before COVID, I actually saw the Atlas printer, and I'm one of these geeks, to be truthful with you. I love seeing technology. I like breaking it more than anything.
Of course, I mean, tear it apart and see if you can fix it again, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I like to break things, because then you actually know how good the machine is. Because if you can break it and you can fix it relatively quick, or not break it in the first place, then you know you're doing a good job. So we saw the corner.
I'm storing this, by the way.
He's remembering this, so he knows if I fix it quick, then it's not a problem.
No, he's thinking about warranties right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we installed a cornet, and it was all about being able to offer more products to our customers. So we do about 200,000 personalised items a year at the minute. Every single one of them is a print-on-demand item. Every single item is different. It could include pictures of your children. It could be a cartoon character of yourself. It could be anything you could imagine, but it's print-on-demand. So all those clients that we work with have zero stock. We hold the stock, and it's the same stock if you buy it from retailer A or retailer B. It's the same base product, and we're just printing on it, adding the label, and it's going out, and then it changes the value of that product accordingly.
Interesting story, and I will get back to it in a second. But Phil, maybe you didn't talk to Stuart the first time that he was into buying a machine. But I mean, generally speaking, if a print broker calls and say, yeah, we are competing with Poland and we want to make in the British manufacturing, what comes to mind then?
Brexit.
That was a good one.
Maybe I foresaw this coming all this time ago.
I think, look,
The
it's
reason
easy. It's pretty easy to compete because it's about speed to market and customization.
and that's where they got it, right?
Yeah. I think I referenced it earlier today about the Amazon effect, right? The Amazon Prime effect. Everybody wants. They started it, and people have to keep up and add more value. Everybody now wants to have something. Actually, if I think about this from my own son, even Argos went one further. Not on a print-on-demand product, but you can get products same day. So retailers are now getting onto this that they need to deliver immediate. So I think that's where our advantage is in the UK on local production versus maybe what can be a cheaper product, but people will pay more for something more immediate and customized.
It's great what you say, because I remember I spoke to an online printer and he basically said that they had like the very low prices when they started marketing it, and then they basically said that you can have a premium delivery. And he said that it was like 40 or 50% of customers, they want to buy the premium. And then if you look at the price, then it was, well, not that cheap, right? So it was like sometimes there are other KPIs, and I think that maybe the printing industry, maybe also as your background is that that sometimes we focus too much on price.
Definitely. Amazon Prime's not cheap anymore.
Yeah.
Now it's got the traction.
£80 a year to have the delivery service.
But one thing I can't help thinking about, Stuart, because I mean, coming from being a print broker to being a full production site now, that journey must have been relatively steep, right? Because I mean, there's a lot of learning, there's a lot of investment, there's a lot of go-to-market, there's a lot of things that you need to focus on.
Especially when it takes a sledgehammer to it.
Yeah, because he has to assemble it first, right?
I think it's definitely an interesting journey, because there's not anywhere that you can go to and have that knowledge to start with. So it's like textile printing in the UK. If we went back 30, 40 years ago, we would manufacture everything in the UK. My mum used to work in a factory that made the M&S trousers that was down the road from our house, but that doesn't exist anymore in the UK, so we lose that skill set. So it's a sharp journey. The interesting thing with the printer, with the Cornet, going back to that scenario, and we've talked about the scenario of the Amazon effect. I always talk about the Elon Musk effect, because Elon Musk is a technology company that 10 years ago said we're going to build an electric cars, and went to one of the big car manufacturers, and he said, I want to build electric cars. And they turned around and laughed at him and said, that's never going to happen in that. So he's gone away and done it and proved the point.
Or he went to Russia to buy an old rocket for SpaceX, right?
Exactly. And he's gone away now and built electric car. And now he's the biggest car manufacturer in the world and the second most valuable company in the world. And I think if you have always the mindset of you staying in the same way of you are not going to be able to drive it forward, and that it's always going to have the same effect. And I actually think the more people that's going to print on demand and quick printing, opening up other avenues for that is just an extra revenue for us. You look at 4 years ago, Love Island, there was a guy on it that used to say all the time, I used to be in Blazing Squad. Now, a prime example of that is Primark actually launched a load of T-shirts from their stock,
Of course.
that said, "I used to be in Blazing Squad."
Of course.
And they sold thousands of it. It was a print on demand on a screen printed solution, but the market had already started to change.
Yeah.
So if you could bring in lots of products and offer them to our existing customers. So we have a customer that, I don't know, is rebranding a fish and chip shop down the road, and then they turn around and go, "Well, why aren't we doing your staff uniform? You're opening, we've just done your flags, we've done your sign outside, we've done your stickers, we've done your menus. Why not add in the T-shirts? It's a very quick and easy revenue."
As I said, unfortunately, this is a short session here because I think it's a really interesting story. Last comment before we have one question.
Okay.
I was just wondering, that journey that you have been on here, it seems that there is no end to it, right?
I would say it's endless, because as more things change and technology changes, even down to the latest printer, you can print 3D onto T-shirts.
And you work greatly with the Kornit guys?
Yeah, they're good guys. They also have a really nice beach next to their office in Tel Aviv if you ever want to go.
I have been there and I know
Yes,
it. But that is one thing, but it also works for you commercially, right?
Yeah, of course. There's always the teething problems at the start with any new machinery. We've never printed garments before. That is not our background. But I think 100% it's going to be a really successful journey for us. Even down to like today, we're printing Formula E racing team stuff on the new printer.
Fantastic. Richard has a question here. How would you compare costs between screen printing to Kornit's digital production method?
So realistically, anything under 200 pieces, digital will be cheaper. We have no screen charges, we have no setups, we have no labour in that scenario. I think, truthfully, I could teach a 6-year-old to run our machine. It's put a T-shirt on level and press 2 buttons. So in terms of training and stuff like that, it's a lot more cost effective. I think anything over 2 colours as well, under 200 pieces will be more competitive.
But I mean, when I think the question, if I think of it for a second, I think also it comes a little bit to like when people talk digital, maybe you can answer that, Stuart. Sorry, Phil. Sometimes that you can think of that digital has like more expensive inks, maybe some click surcharges to it. I mean, the business models, are they?
It's a completely different business model. If you look at a screen printer, that if their screen printer is going to get 50 jobs in a day of 200, that's an absolute nightmare for a screen printer, right? Tear down, set up, start again, and that turnaround, they need a lot of staff and a number of carousels, quite a lot more staff to make that work. With digital, that's the same printer, it's just pressing a button.
So when you have a high cost labor,
it's a different business.
It's of course different if you're in India, if you compare to the UK.
If you have 5 jobs of 1,000, then it may, this is what I was saying before, that screen and digital are going to complement each other. They're crossing over more in terms of the capabilities, but I think still there's a very clear place for screen and there's a clear place for digital, and digital's kind of moving further up those volume paths.
It's also very different on the Kornit. We don't have paper prints. It's not like a paper
No.
printer.
I was just asking you for people that don't understand. Stuart, last question here. When you look at, I mean, when we talk about all these things about the digital journey that you've been on here, and we talk about that it's almost endless. So where are the obstacles? I mean, what is the limitation of your? I mean, if you probably have from time to time you sit down and think about, okay, if I need to scale my business, where are the obstacles? Is it on the financing side, or is it on the skill side, or marketing communication side?
I think on a direct to garment printing side of the business, I think at the minute the assets are expensive, or in proportion to setting up screen printing, without doubt. However, I think the value that you gain out of them over a period of time will be higher.
So it's more like a financing period, basically. You just need the money to buffer until you get profitable with the machine, right?
And also you have to show the consumer what they can actually have. It's like opening a whole new market. Before, where a consumer wanted a 10-colour print T-shirt, you couldn't buy a 10-colour print T-shirt if you wanted one of them. Now, send me a colour with 50 prints on it, including neon colours, and we'll print it for you.
And I think it's all about expectation of payback and ROI for a person who's investing. So if you're investing and you typically set in your mind, I want a 3-year payback, I want to make an X% ROI, then that's clear. We can really help with those details on, okay, what work do you need to win and by when to achieve that payback. We've had customers that make payback and ROI in less than 12 months.
Wow. With that said, I think you have some paperwork to do, right?
We do.
Just kidding. This is Morten from Inkish, and I have just hosted a wonderful 2 short session with Phil and Stuart here. It's always great to listen to stories from real people that made an investment and then are become successful with it. So congratulations to you, Stuart. I think it's great work and great achievement. So this is truly great. We have another short break, only a little bit less than 5 minutes, and then we are back with Simon Cooper from Solo Press and Ian Bendy from Excel Printing Machines. So stay tuned and be back in approximately 5 minutes.